Hello, I'm Chris Kuhn. I'm currently the pastor here at Park Boulevard Presbyterian Church in Oakland, California. Today is November 14th, 2013. This is a very special year for us here at Park Boulevard because we are celebrating the church's 100th birthday. We've been in this community, the Blendview community of Oakland, for 100 years now. We're excited about the future, but we're taking some time this year to remember and celebrate God's faithfulness to us in the past as well. I'm here today with Marilyn and June Beitlespacher. June grew up at this church and has a lot of memories, and so we thought that we would get those on the official record so she can share with us some of her thoughts about the past, about her childhood both in this neighborhood and at this church, as well as other memories more recently. So Marilyn will be interviewing June during this time, and this will become part of the official record of Park Boulevard Presbyterian Church.
Thank you, Pastor. June, let's start. How about telling us some of the early years you remember?
I was born in the 20s in this Glenview district, and I grew up here. I lived on Edgewood Avenue. I attended Glenview Elementary School. Lee Bledsoe, who was a member of the church, and I started kindergarten together, as I remember. And my mother brought me to Sunday school here at the church, and I remember one of my teachers' names was Mrs. Goldenson. Marion and June Long were also in the class, and Beverly Shin was a neighbor of mine, and that family went here too.
So you've been in the neighborhood quite a while. Can you tell us some about what Blendview was like?
They had a butcher shop too, and George was a butcher, and my mother would always ask, what kind of meat do you have this tonight that you could recommend? It was Wynn's drugstore, and when we used to walk back and forth to school, we'd stop and get a delicious 2-scoop ice cream cone for a nickel.
I like the sound of 2 scoops of ice cream for a nickel. Oh my. Tell us some more about your relationship with the church. There are some other events, and maybe you could tell us some about Cleo and how you met and what he did.
Okay. Cleo and I were married in 1944, and we always lived in Oakland, but in 1950 we built our home in Joaquin Miller Park in the Montclair district. Before that, Cleo came from South Dakota. He was a teacher, and he taught in a one-room schoolhouse for 5 years, and I think he made $50 a month or something like that. And during the succeeding years, he went back to San Jose State and got his California credential, and he became an industrial arts teacher. He taught at Oakland High, where I had gone to high school. But during this time, we attended Montclair Presbyterian Church along with the Skinners, and then in the late 80s, we all returned to Park Boulevard Presbyterian Church, and I felt like we had come home.
That's a nice feeling, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Were there any special activities you were involved with?
Yes, we had a very nice couples group called the Schooners. We had about 10 or 12 couples at that time, and I think it was a potluck dinner. We'd get together once a month, and we'd have a program of some sort or a speaker. And then we also had a women's association of women that met once or twice a month, and Betty Nichols, one of our dear members, just was almost heading that. She was a cook, and she just loved to cook and would prepare those luncheons for us. And then we were in a sewing group that made lap robes for people with walkers, pillows for heart patients, and stuffed bears that we gave to children in the Children's Hospital and Kaiser Hospital, and we still are going along with that. And through the years, I think we've given away about 1,000 bears.
I remember not too long ago you had a few on display, and they were really lovely and cuddly. They were nice. I understand you sang in the choir.
I did, and I loved it.
Did you have any favorite hymns?
Several, too many to mention really.
June, this has been wonderful to hear these memories that you're willing to share with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marilyn, for having me.
We've been in this community, the Blendview community of Oakland, for 100 years now. We're excited about the future, but we're taking some time this year to remember and celebrate God's faithfulness to us in the past as well.